The consumer market in Europe has certain demands, and that the way the soybeans and other products are produced in North America are fulfilling these requirements. And well, I hope the North American producers understand that the standard of SSAP is fulfilling that requirements. The SSAP is important because it's a way that producers can prove with certification that they are fulfilling these requirements. And well, especially on the European side, we have standards and we are very willing to benchmark the standards with the SSAP. So it's very important to have a standard. I think the most important thing is that they know what kind of difference there are, not even in sustainability requirements, but also in cultures. Why are European citizens asking for what they ask? And why should producers in North America fulfill the wishes of the European consumers? I think that international buyers should know that the European consumer is very involved with sustainability. But not only that, we use commodities for feeding animals as a feed industry. And feeding animals has to do with animal welfare and all kind of other things too. And consumers look after feed in all these ways, even with animal welfare. And this all together, mixed up, becomes a standard. And well, I think the international community and North American farmers should know that this kind of wishes are ending up in the requirements we have. Well, every region in the world differs. And well, the origin of soy from the more eastern part of Europe differs from South of America and the North of America. And we know that there are differences. So when we are talking about South of America, deforestation is a more hot issue in comparison with North of America. So over here, the discussion is more about the good agricultural practices, transformation from wetlands to agricultural land, and that kind of issues instead of deforestation. So that's more important for this area of the world. I think North America has professional and good farmers. So the most important thing is that you prove that you're on a good way, produce responsible and have sustainable ways of producing the products. And when you improve the way you are working, which you should always do as a farmer, and you put it down in a standard like SSAP, then in my opinion, there should be a good way to have a harmonization of systems and a good benchmark by which you can improve the way of producing of North American farmers. It's very important for our organization because we represent the Dutch feed industry. So all companies in the Netherlands that are producing feed are very willing to buy sustainable products because consumers in the Netherlands and also the export markets ask for it. There's no doubt that sustainability for Dutch industry is a very number one condition. The SSAP is very important because when we are working worldwide with the RTRS, Roundtable Responsible Soy, it's a standard which has become there because of a multi-stakeholder dialogue with producers in especially South America, with NGOs and with industry and trade. And well, it's a high level, and to get more volume in the market which answers the needs for responsibility, we think it's very important that we have in Europe the FIFAC soy sourcing guidelines, which are made by the European feed industry, by which we don't want a new standard, but what we say is we want a reference by which all standards can be benchmarked. And that's why I think the SSAP is important, because you have a system that can be benchmarked by the European feed industry. And by doing so, and when it's okay, there is an open way for North American soybean farmers on behalf of the SSAP standard to export to Europe. I think sustainability is not only important for buyers or sellers, it's important for everyone on the world, because everyone wants to have a good world for the next generation. So in the beginning, that's the origin why everyone feels responsibility and is sustainable. So I think we both are sustainable, and farmers are sustainable, and buyers are sustainable too, because everyone has to take its responsibility to preserve the world for the next generations. While I think that what is very important, what I meet all over the world, is that the requirements of the European feed industry and consumers at the end are being translated in requirements and conditions by buying. And when you are a farmer in North of America, you could say, okay, I want to sell this and I want to have a much higher price. And the problem normally is that the consumer in Europe isn't willing to pay for it. And that the retailers in Europe are trying to ask for the same. So what I want to explain is that when a farmer in the North of America should say, oh, why all these requirements and why should I do it when nobody is really paying for it? It's exactly the same as we face in Europe, because we simply buy. We have to sell it to farmers as feed, as compound feed. And these farmers are exactly asking the same question. Who is going to pay? So I would say at the end, we are in the same boat. We have to deal with the same end market, but we are as partners in the chain in the same boat.